Greetings, friends. Shannon from Catapult Consulting Group here with you today. That's CatapultConsultingGroup.com. And today I wanted to talk to you about being prepared and creating a plan for active shooter situations that could possibly arise in your workplace. In this video, I'm not going over the specifics of putting a plan together, but I am talking about some key elements that will help you when you put the plan together. In 2022, there were over 600 incidents of active shooters. Before the end of January 2023, there were 70 incidents of active shooters. I think that we can all agree that that data is very sobering. I really believe employers have a responsibility to ensure that their workforce, regardless of size, is kept safe. I'm also doing the video because several years ago, I actually worked with someone who ended up becoming an active shooter. Now, this person who I previously worked with killed, I think it was 14 people, and then he had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It was very sobering. So the first thing that I would really recommend on doing is building that rapport with law enforcement. You want them to come into that workspace, no matter how small, and give you some recommendations or feedback. Law enforcement in most cities, counties, localities are more than willing to come in and do an assessment of your space and give you some recommendations for what you can and what you should do in those types of scenarios. But before they actually come in, a lot of law enforcement will have a criteria that you kind of have to meet in order for them to come in and do the assessment. And it's pretty simple, but you definitely want to reach out and start that partnership with your law enforcement in your local community. The second thing that you want to make sure that you do before law enforcement even comes in is to do your own assessment. Designate where your safe places will be in your facility, in your office building. One of the things that you definitely want to do when you are assessing your safe place is not only ensuring, obviously, that the door to that safe room is a pretty solid door, steel or something pretty substantial. Of course, that's best. You want to make sure that the door on that room does not swing in, but rather swings out. When a door swings in, you are really removing any type of barrier from the person on the outside of the door to be able to get inside. So they have leverage to swing that door inside as opposed to outside. You don't want to remove any type of barrier. You want to make it harder for that person to swing the door into that room. So you need that barrier on that door frame that only allows that door to swing outside and not in. That is something that you definitely want to keep in mind as you are reviewing and assessing your environment. You want to make sure that you have thought about the methods and ways that you will warn other people in your facility. Most places, people are kind of spread out. Now, you might have a small office building, but even still, unless everybody is in the same space and really can see everything, you need to have a warning system. What does that warning system look like so that people are very clear on what to expect if an incident does occur? The other thing that you want to think about is your exit points and your access points to your facility, to your building. It's best to have at least 2 main exit points. And let me just say this as well. A lot of times, unless we are using those access points to enter into the office or enter into the facility, staff or personnel may not be thinking about other exit or access points other than the ones that they use on a daily basis when an incident potentially occurs. So you want to make sure that you not only have those access points designated, but when you review your plan with your employees on a regular basis, you want to make sure that you are reminding them of those additional access points. Even if people don't typically use them, you want to make sure that when something happens, that they are thinking about, okay, the quickest way for me to get out of this building based on where I am. And of course, the designated safe rooms. Not only do you want to make sure that you have that plan written down, but you want to make sure that everybody who is in your facility has access to that plan. You also want to make sure that you are reviewing the key points of that plan with them on a regular basis. It shouldn't be just a one-time deal. As you are bringing people in and out, as you are hiring every quarter, every maybe semi-annually, you are reviewing that plan with your employees and making sure that everybody's clear on the key elements of that plan. And so I really recommend, if you are a small employer, a medium-sized employer, that you start just getting yourself prepared to create a plan for a potential active shooter or similar situation. It's always better to be prepared. You never know how many lives you could save if you prepare in advance and create a plan for your business, your facility, as it relates to an active shooter. Well, I hope that this information was beneficial, and I hope really that it will get you started on moving forward with creating a plan and working with your local law enforcement.